What is going on, Champion Squad? It is your boy Sultan. Welcome faces back to another Apex Legends video. Today I'll be showing you guys how to play more confident and dominate gunfights. Thank you for joining me, and let's get into the video. Playing confident is a major part in successfully dominating in Apex Legends. So today I'll be going over 5 tips to help build your confidence, and I'll also have a bonus tip at the end of the video, so be sure to stick around. If you're new here, subscribe and join the Champion Squad. Here find some of the best Apex tips and tricks to make you an even better player. Now let's get into some valid tips to help improve your confidence. Confidence, by definition, is a state of being certain either that a hypothesis or prediction is correct or that a chosen course of action is the best or most effective. Decisions are constantly going through your mind when you're playing Apex Legends, and being confident plays a key role to making successful decisions. With that said, let's jump right into the first tip I have to play more confident, which is your reaction time. Having faster or similar reaction times is the best way to keep yourself in some intense gunfight situations. Ultimately, the faster your reaction time is against other enemy players, the better chance you'll have to come out on top. Reaction time is based on players' individual capabilities and is always changing based on how you're feeling that day. Reaction time can be improved through numerous ways, and the first and most crucial way that I've come across is having caffeine in your system when you're playing. Although caffeine can help your reaction time, it can also affect your physical body from raising your heart rate. The caffeine supplement I use almost every time I'm playing is G Fuel. Although I'm not sponsored by them, I truly enjoy what the drink has to offer. It's a healthier alternative to coffee or energy drinks like Red Bull and Monster. After drinking G Fuel, I immediately noticed an increase in my reaction time, which helps me make quicker decisions as well as get the first shots off of my opponent. Now, on top of drinking caffeine when I'm playing, I also notice having at least 6 to 8 hours of sleep is crucial to have a better reaction time. If you notice, some days when you're playing, you feel like a much better player than others. Majority of it has to do with how much sleep you've gotten. Make sure that you have enough sleep and have caffeine in your system to help give you a faster reaction time when you're playing. Doing this will for sure make you play more confident in games. Alright, Legends, now let's get into the second tip I have, which is being warmed up. When you first get on Apex Legends, I'm sure everyone experiences being slightly rusty and your aim is just not directly on point. It's because you're not fully warmed up. Almost every time I get on the game, I love jumping into the training mode for about 15 minutes shooting around with my favorite weapons. Before going in and after finishing the training, it's like a night and day difference with how warmed up I become. Although I honestly think 15 minutes is still not enough to get to the state of being on top of your game. It takes me usually around 1 to 2 hours of solid playing where I find myself at the peak of my performance and what I'm capable of. Now, after playing for about 1 to 2 hours, I usually notice that my aim, movement, and in-game decisions are the best they can be. This is what will help boost your confidence when you're playing, being fully warmed up. However, it's also important to keep in mind that after 5 to 6 hours of consecutive playing can also drain your performance from being tired or worn down. That's why I give my full respect to streamers that stream 8 hours a day with little to no breaks. It can really take a mental toll on you with your performance in-game. So always remember to jump into training for about 15 minutes give or take to get a feel for the game before playing an actual match. This will easily give you more confidence when you're playing the game. Alright, champs, now let's get into the third tip I have, which is total time played. For those who don't know, I have around 1,200 hours played on Apex Legends. For some, they might think it's nothing, and for others, they might think it's too much. But one thing that I know is when I hit around 500 to 600 hours of playing is where I saw a noticeable jump in my confidence when playing the game. You can sit and watch all the videos you want to help you become a better player, but the idea here is putting plan to action. If you want to get better and have more confidence when you're playing, you have to put the time in just like everyone else. The biggest thing I noticed throughout my time playing Apex is whenever I play every day for a minimum of 3 to 4 hours over a week span. That's when I usually see an increase in my confidence and skill. Don't try to stress over yourself by playing 8 hours a day at random times of the week. If you can plan yourself to play every day and distribute the hours over a week's time, that's when you'll see some big improvements to your game. Playing every day is where you will see yourself to that next level in skill and confidence. But the key idea here is to increase your total time that you have played on the game. Typically, the more time you have played, the better you'll become. But again, everyone is different, and there are a few talented players that don't even have 500 hours played, but can carry their own weight against higher tier players. With that said, let's get right into the fourth tip I have, which is to use one legend consistently. Especially if you're new to the game, the best way to learn how the game is played is by sticking to one legend until you get a good feel for the game. Personally, I think players should main one legend until they have 1,500 to 2,000 kills with that legend. This gives you plenty of time to not only figure out how that legend should be played, but also gives you a good idea of the weaknesses that your legend has. That way, when you end up going up against your legend in the future, you'll know the key ways on how to counter them. However, if you're constantly changing up your legend every game, you start to get your abilities and ultimates confused, and you won't be using them as effectively. But if you really want to get more confident when you're playing, use your main legend that you have the most time played with. This will give you a more comfortable approach when it comes to gunfights and decision making. Alright, now let's get into the 5th tip I have, which is good posture and breathe. I'm sure everyone can relate when you're in an intense gunfight situation against multiple enemy players, your hands get sweaty, your heart's racing, and your nerves are through the roof. The first thing I would say is to take a deep breath. Breathing will help you relax and keep your mind in focus. Remember, it's only a video game and the enemy players are also human. The next thing that's key is having good posture when you're playing. Sit up and pay close attention, almost like you're getting yelled at by your teacher when they tell you to sit up in your chair. Now, a good gaming chair helps wonders for good posture while still being comfortable, but any chair will do the trick. And if you're playing on a monitor, you should be around 2 feet from your screen, give or take, depending on what kind of setup you have. You can't expect to be good if you're playing 10 feet from your screen while lying down on a couch. Most of the players that are extremely good at the game are probably playing on a monitor with a gaming chair sitting upright about 2 feet from their screen. Doing this will drastically improve your focus on the game and help boost your confidence when you're playing. Okay, legends, now for the real champions who stay till this point of the video, I have a bonus tip, which is having a winning mentality. Having confidence is all in your head and how you're feeling. Constantly reminding yourself before and during a gunfight that you will win the exchange of shots is crucial. Always have a positive and confident mindset when playing because it plays a huge role on top of your physical skill. However, don't let your ego get the best of you. Having a big ego will blind any room for improvement, and majority of the cases can get you killed, especially with skill-based matchmaking. Don't expect all players that you come across aren't as good as you. Have some respect for the enemy's aim before headlessly pushing them. The best way to feel out how good the opposing players are is by calculating the damage exchanged during the fight. After the first exchange, you'll start to understand if they have some decent aim. Then the rest is for you to determine how the situation should be played. Nevertheless, be sure to take all the tips from the beginning of the video into consideration to help improve how confident you are the next time you're playing Apex Legends. Thank you for spending a couple minutes every day with me. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to leave a like rating. It's always appreciated. Also, don't forget to subscribe and join the Champion Squad. We're on the road to 30,000 subscribers. Hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and as always, this has been your boy Sultan. I'm signing off. Peace.